We also have to talk about your star student. Of course, you've been working with Pragg and Vaishali since they were very young. What did you think of his performance at the candidates? And also, what did you think about Pragg's performance in Norway?
Okay, so regarding candidates, in my perspective, the clear favorites were either Hikaru or Fabiano. I was expecting one of them to win the candidates, and the next chance would be Nepomniachtchi, and then I thought it could be Pragg. So these four have a chance to win the title. And with Pragg, we really worked very hard. The 3 months prior to the candidates, we had multiple camps, and we paid a lot of importance to his physical training, physical fitness, his diet, his sleep habits, his mental strength, and also obviously the openings. And it went quite well for the first half. I was really happy. He was always in the contention. And then I think one of the turning points was when he got a completely winning position against Nepomniachtchi with the white pieces, and then in the Petrov. It's very difficult to get a winning position against the Petrov, and he got it, and then he settled for a draw. I think that was a big turning point because a win against Nepo would have boosted his confidence, and also it would have given some jitters to the competitors. Like they won't feel very comfortable facing Pragg in that form. I think the draw, that was the turning point. And then in the second half, he did not do so well. But that has been one of my concerns in recent last 1 year, I would say. Like in the second half, he somehow has to find that energy to finish off well. Probably he's getting tired towards the end. And this was happening quite a few times in the last 1 year. So we have had discussions about this. And regarding Norway, he bet Hikaru in the Armageddon, in the last round. So I was very happy with that. More than the result that he came third, the fact that he was able to win in the very last round and not getting tired and blowing it off, that made me happy. And I hope he manages to gain very important lessons from these experiences.
Yeah, he's got a busy schedule, so we can understand why he gets tired some. Can you summarize his growth overall? And also, I know you don't want to give away too much, but what does he have to do to break into the world's top 5?
I think he doesn't have to do anything special to get into top 5. It's just a matter of time, I would say. He just has to play more tournaments and keep doing what he's doing. He's doing most of the things correctly, but I would say he could be a little bit more aggressive in his approach. He tends to probably emulate Magnus, trying to outplay opponents in endgames. He's trying to do that very often. So maybe he should also try his chances in complicated positions, because from young age he has worked a lot in complicated positions and calculation. He's extremely good at it. But probably he's relying on few things which is working for him and slightly getting into the comfort zone. So I would try to keep reminding him to step out of the comfort zone once in a while. And that's what chess is about. It's like you have to keep trying new things so that you don't become stale over a period of time. And regarding his progress, fine. So at the age of 10, he became an international master. That was the world record at that time, youngest to become an IM. And then a couple of years later, he became second youngest grandmaster next to Karyakin, the record which was broken immediately in few months by Gukesh and then subsequently by Mishra. Yeah, and he reached to 2600 at the age of 14. And then COVID happened, so we lost a couple of years in that. Otherwise, maybe things would be very different.
Well, they're certainly trending in the right direction right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of the top 5, at the time of this interview, Arjun Erigaisi has broken into the top 5 by simply playing open tournaments. Do you think that his game is particularly well suited to opens? And do you think that he'll also get a lot more invites now and he'll be able to maintain his status in the closed tournaments?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. He already has not got kind of invitations which other youngsters have got. But I'm expecting it's just a matter of time. But in a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because he did not get these invitations where it's very difficult to win on such consistent basis against the top players. But it's much more possible to do that against a weaker opposition. But I'm not saying he's beating the weaker players, but because he's extremely good at defeating players, let's say below 2650, which is not easy at all. Most players would make few draws and win 1 or 2, but he seems to do it otherwise. He wins most of the games and makes very few draws against such opponents. It's a very healthy trend, I would say.
Yeah, and Nakamura has shown us you can get to the world's best by playing it open, so not a bad approach. We should ask at least one question about Vaishali. You've worked with her for a while too. Now, be honest, at the candidates, she was, and I had to remind myself, she was -4 after 9 rounds. What were you actually thinking there was any chance she would get a positive score and get second place?
Okay, our philosophy is like we try not to get too much attached to the results because we know it can be very fluctuating. Things can go unexpectedly wrong when you don't least expect it, and it can unsettle if you are very reactionary. So we try to keep reminding ourselves like we just have to focus on playing a good game, and for that I need to be at my best emotional state and intellectual state and give my best effort. So that's what I told her, like, okay, it cannot get worse than this, so start fresh. And I'm happy that she won the next 5 games.
And we don't usually compare them to, we usually celebrate the fact that their family is so good at chess, but how about if we compare them, who is stronger emotionally, Vaishali or Pragg?
Pragg.
Okay. Why is that?
No, from a very young age, like, because we have all this conversation, we have a lot of conversations about these issues. I mean, what success really means, and what is a failure? Is it really a failure, or it's just a different experience? So I try to tell them like winning, losing, drawing, they're just different flavors. Like you have vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. So try to look at it like this, and you can enjoy all the 3 flavors. That means you can actually learn from all these experiences. Even when things go wrong, it means like I'm not doing some things right, and only from the games we lost, it becomes clear what I'm not doing it right, and that becomes the area of focus in our preparation. So this is the way to grow. So we are not playing perfect chess, and it's going to take a while to get even near that. So we are always going to be making one or other kind of mistakes, and it's from the losses we can identify our mistakes. So try to look at it from this perspective. It's easily said than done, but it's a work in progress.
Now, one side story that no one saw coming was how popular Pragg and Vaishali's mom has become, due in no small part to Maria Emelianova's photographs. But because she doesn't give very many interviews in English, tell us what role she plays in her children's success.
No, she largely has been a mother. Typically what happens is like most parents of young chess players, they tend to play the role of a chess mentor or at worst even chess coach. So they try to interfere in the technicalities when they really don't know the game.
We've seen that happen in the chess world.
Yeah,
yes.
so, and that has a very negative impact on the young children. But with Pragg's parents, I've never seen them give any chess related advice. They never say like, how can you draw with a lower rated player, or yesterday you bet a higher rated, today you are losing to a lower rated, so, or you're not managing your time well. So they don't get into any of these technicalities. So she just is there, she cooks Indian food, which they both love. It's typical Indian attitude, I would say. The moment we leave the boundary, we start thinking about Indian food. So she just plays the role of a mother to that word tea, I would say.
Thinking about Indian food right now. We saw a video recently where both Pragg and Gukesh stood up simply because Vishy stood up. And I'm also reminded at the candidates, I did one small favor for Pragg, and he called me sir, which is rather unexpected when I'm just a journalist. Do you think it's possible to be world champion and be polite? Because that's not always the case with some of the top 10 players.
I think it's it should not just be possible to be good at what you do and be polite. I think it's imperative that you are both. Because I wouldn't value success much if you're going to lose some of your humanity in the process. So I would always rate humanity much higher than success. So it should not be at any cost.